Someone would say, I'm doing this because I want to make my father proud. My father always wanted me to be this. You're not living your dream.
Definitely.
All of a sudden, you start feeling much better than yourself.
Yeah.
So,
And also going on to the issue of avoiding, because sometimes I think it's also very important for you to avoid some certain things. Now, this is not to say, no, of course, many people fear the fear of failure stops them from doing some certain things, which I think shouldn't do that, right? And for some people, it is what they've done. Maybe they tried something that they were told not to do, they failed, and then now they regret, and they've allowed their regret to hold them captive, right? To keep them from advancing and doing some certain things, yet they can do some certain things. But what are some of the things that you think a person can do in order for them to avoid regretting or to avoid being in situations of regrets? For instance, we've talked about elderly people, especially regretting not doing some certain things. It could be regretting not spending enough time with your loved ones. It could be not telling somebody that you loved them, maybe romantically or whatever the case may be. But maybe you built some bridges that you wish you couldn't have done. But what are some of the things that you can do to avoid regretting?
I would honestly say just be a sponge.
Okay.
Be a sponge and just seek for wisdom. Learn from other people's experiences, learn from their mistakes, learn from their past. Watch podcasts, read books. There's this saying, our founding father of our country, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, who was the first president of Tanzania, he said, I don't know if it was from him, but I heard it from a speech from him.
Yeah.
He said that the easiest way to hide something from someone, write it in a book. Because in a book, there's so much knowledge, so much experience. People write about their mistakes, their past, and you learn from it. The more you read books, the more you learn different things.
Those things, yeah.
So I would just advise, people, especially from our generation, just be a sponge, man. Just learn from other people. And another thing is, this one specifically to target the inaction regrets. Just do it. Take the risk. Go ahead and do it, because you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes you might do stuff, the results might be positive, the results might be negative.
Fail, but as long as you have done it.
So long as you've done it, you know that, okay, in the future, I'll not look back to this and be like, okay.
I think,
because even for me, for example, with football, even right now, as much as I'm passionate about it, as much as I am pursuing it, I don't know if it's the right thing for me to do or not. But then I'll only know this in a couple of years. So even if it gets to a point that it was not successful, I'll just be like, okay, at least I tried. I had the burning desire, I had the passion to do it, and I tried, and it didn't work out. It's okay. That's life. We move on. Totally different from me a couple of years from now, and life isn't going my way, and I'm like, I had a dream of wanting to become a professional footballer, but I didn't pursue it. It's gonna hit me for the rest of my life.
Regret ways.
It's going to hit me for the rest of my life. So I'll just advise those two things: be a sponge. Seek for knowledge. Watch podcasts. Surround yourself. I cannot stress this enough. Surround yourself with older people. If you're young,
Wisdom.
Bro, there is so much wisdom. I think I would also advise people to read this verse in the Bible, Proverbs chapter 9, verse 11. It's a verse on wisdom. It's even written in the Bible, bro. Just seek for wisdom. Sir, I don't know. I'm literally, so much.
I do understand you. I have had the same experience. I think God has privileged me when it comes to wisdom. Because I've found myself in countless situations whereby I was involved in some conversations with people that are way older than me. And most of my friends, actually, or I think over half of my friends, the people that I call my friends, actually, they're way older than me. These are people that
I think I'm in the same situation.
That are almost double my age. And I spend so much time with these people in conversation because I think they've experienced it all. Because some of the things that excite us as young people, at that time we do not see how they can be destructive. But this way of lived life, they've gone through those things, they've done that, and they know the outcome of those things. So sometimes I find myself conversing with some people that I completely don't know, but they shared some of the things that they did and when they advised me. I remember the guy also said, I think he had a faithful wife. He said, man, this woman was my everything. She was faithful. She had never cheated on me, at least to his knowledge. She had never, I mean, she was always respectful. She was like that. But then he got taken away by some of the things that he was seeing when he was going out. Maybe he saw other women that were more attractive in terms of physical looks as compared to his wife. And he ended up cheating on his wife. And then he lost her. I think they divorced. And bro, you should have heard him when he was speaking. You could tell the pain from his tone. When I was saying, I lost her. I never knew what I had. Now he was struggling. He was now moving from one divorce to another. He was having bad times. But he said, the amount of peace that I had when I was still with my wife, that girl whom I took for granted, is something. And I think this is an important lesson that we should also learn. That never take your loved ones for granted. Do not take your loved ones for granted. And another thing, do not pursue somebody else's dream. You've got to live your dream, man. Because at the end of the day, when you're about to die, when you're about to meet your creator, and they ask you, my son, my daughter, what did you do with the dream that I gave you? What exactly are you going to say? So do not live anybody's dream. Do not take your loved ones for granted. Spend time with your loved ones as much as you can. And also do not pretend to be somebody else you're not.
Yeah, which is something that this might be a little bit off topic, but it's something that most of the youth we go through.
Yeah.
We try to live someone else's dream. For example, I know someone that's studying engineering.
Yeah.
Right. I genuinely can tell that this person isn't really passionate with engineering.
Yeah.
But it's because her parents said that they want her to be an engineer. She's doing this. And she's struggling with school, bro. She's struggling, it's really difficult. Or sometimes, in a different situation, someone would say, I'm doing this because I want to make my father proud. My father always wanted me to be this. You're not living your dream.
Definitely. I think
sure, I mean, it might be a sentimental thing, or like, you know, for example, someone's parent passed away and the parent always wanted this child to be a certain thing, and you're doing it because you want to make them proud. Just because they're dead. I mean, I understand the thought and the value that goes into it. But is that really what you want to do? Some situations you do find that they really do want to do it, but then what about the ones that really don't want to do it? So that's a question or something for the viewers to contemplate on if you're really doing what you want to do. But then we hope that you've learned something from this conversation on regrets. And
just to add one thing as I conclude, I think there's also an aspect of making your health and well-being a priority.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This almost links again to the conversation that we had last time, that sometimes we neglect our health and our well-being because of some things that we call pleasure. And when you're older and then you start suffering, the consequences start catching up with you. And then now you start suffering. You die a painful death. You live your life when you're, sick and all that kind of things. Yeah, just because you neglected your well-being and your health. And I think you should take care of yourself. So don't allow your regrets to haunt you from moving on to things that you want to do. Do not allow your regrets to imprison you. But at the same time, do not do things that you make you regret later on. Thank you very much for listening today. If you have a contribution, whatever you want to add on to what we've discussed, let us know in the description, in the comment section, and also let us know some of the topics that you suggest we discuss about. Thank you very much.